After a successful launch, Astra stock is up 35%. I'm going to go over the details of my position, what Astra is trying to become in terms of the space industry. So let's talk about Astra Space. Welcome back to another video. This significant 35% move in Astra's share price is due to a successful launch over the weekend. And Astra has had some troubles recently in the past with their rocket kind of going fine and then veering off towards the side. And they basically failed their first space launch. But Astra is trying to become the main low-cost provider of basically putting anything into space. Think of like satellites, whatever payload that you want. Astra is trying to be the low and most efficient cost provider for basically putting things up into space. So they did a successful test launch. Right now the stock is up by 34%, up $3.24 per share. This used to be a SPAC play. So if you're looking at the interactive chart, this just used to be $10 a share when it was like, I believe it was like Helicity or something like that. And then it shot up to like 27, I think the peak was like $27 or $22 before coming back down to earth. And I just want to show you their rocket that suffered an anomaly. So this was the rocket here.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, 0.
First motion.
First motion.
Poking that way. Yeah, that's not normal. The rocket that could. But yeah, basically that was a failure, and in response to that, Astra stock price, so that was like August 28th. So that was August 28th, and the stock went from like close to $12 all the way to back down to like $9, and then kind of kept going lower, and it reached its lowest point at $7.60. I bought in at $8.75. I just felt comfortable with putting in like $200 US, and so now sitting at a pretty decent gain. We'll take a look at my price target and if I'll be selling out and how many shares I own. So that was the anomaly test, but fortunately this was their test flight launch vehicle 0007, and this can be easily found on YouTube.
On 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1, 0.
First motion.
First motion. Vehicle is clear the tower.
LV0007 has cleared the pad and is on its way to space.
Dang.
Our next objective is Max Q. On the left.
So basically you can watch the rest of this video, but the launch was a success. It was streamed live on November 20th, so 2 days ago. And of course, in response to that successful launch, the stock also launched into orbit. So this is the first time that Astra finally reached orbit with their rocket, and they successfully completed again their first commercial orbit launch for the United States Space Force late Friday night, November 19th. The launch was conducted from Astra's Kodiak Spaceport located at the Pacific Spaceport Complex in Alaska. So again, this is like huge news, especially since what they're doing is delivering payloads to space at a fraction of the cost of the other big players such as SpaceX. And I mean, now a lot of people are kind of like viewing this and really wondering like, well, is it too late to buy? Should I buy in? And a lot of people have been bashing it, especially since the rocket kind of went sideways and didn't do anything for a little bit, and they had to sort of relaunch that space vehicle to try to do that again. So this is like pretty big news coming out of Astra. And if you look at their Q3 results, this is right here really, really important, and I'm just going to read it word for word. And they're focusing on their mission here. So to reiterate, our current focus is concentrated on becoming the global launch service provider, providing the most frequent, flexible, and lowest cost dedicated launches. As we achieve our launch service goals, we'll begin to introduce higher margin space services. And we believe that in the not too distant future, the demand for spectrum access will significantly outstrip supply. This view of spectrum is what motivated us to file the V-band spectrum application to prepare for Astra for its next stage of growth. So the most frequent, flexible, and lowest cost dedicated launches. So that's basically the whole thing around Astra, is that they're doing everything at a fraction of the price of something like SpaceX. And I think that that's the reason why they're going to be successful in the future. And it's a potentially, big long-term hold for me, because if you believe in the space industry in general, like it could balloon over like 100% over the next couple of years to a couple $1 trillion industry. And if you think that Astra will just like gain a fraction of that, then you stand to gain a lot from Astra stock. So basically they had their third quarter results, their most recent results. They lost between 40 million and 44 million, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, like they're going to be losing money because this is a fast kind of growing company. It's a pre-revenue company, so of course it is risky. But basically they have over 300 million on their balance sheet, 379 million in cash balance. And the question is that enough to cover completion of the current launch vehicle program as envisioned and build out space systems? And again, we feel very comfortable that we have the cash position to not only get our next gen of rocket, but also to be able to deliver satellites at the end of 2022 or beginning of 2023. So we're comfortable with that. So of course, right now it's a loss-making company. The only risk that you would have is if they dilute shareholder value, if they need to issue more shares to raise more money to sort of keep going afloat, especially in the loss-making part of the company's vision here. So yeah, they're looking obviously to accelerate, and of course like that failed space launch set them back a little bit, but it's really, really nice to see that they have they were actually able to launch and everything was like perfect. So they're already working on their launch vehicle, or LV0008 and 009, I believe. And if you just go down here, so back in our headquarters in California, our manufacturing team is nearing completion of our next launch vehicle, which is 8. And I'm pleased with the increasing manufacturer efficiencies that we're bringing these vehicles together. The production of this vehicle will be the fastest in our history. As well, the production of 9 and 10 is already underway. So again, just exciting news. And I think that, like you could potentially just like hold this price. Oh, so now it's up by like 39%, close to 40%. We'll see how my position is doing. I think this is delayed by like 15 minutes. So let's just take a look at my Astra Space position. On my Wealthsimple account, I believe I just own like 20 shares. Again, like I'm, a broke college student, and I'm just trying to invest every dollar basically into companies that I believe in, and Astra is definitely one of them. And basically, I guess we could take a look at my overall portfolio as well. I'm down by 2% there. However, I made 112% on my crypto investments, so more than made up for my current loss on my TFSA positions. And if you're looking at my Astra Space right now, might make fun of me for having just like a small position. Oh, excuse me. However, I believe, like, again, if you don't have a lot of money to invest, you just kind of invest what you can. And I'm up by about like 50% here, or $86. So my average price was $8.75. I only have like $34 more to invest in, right? So, I believe in starting small and kind of like growing your position in the future. So we'll see what happens with this position. I'm not really sure if I will sell just yet, just because I do believe in the long-term growth of this company. And I like this stock for the long term. So let me know if you own any Astra shares, what you're doing with the stock. I'd love to hear your position. And if you'd like to check out the Discord down below, the link in the description of the video, as well as my real-time buys and sells, feel free to check out my Patreon down below. Until next time, I'll see you. Take care and peace, guys.